here is Order's second chance. This time, though, there are no more second chances. It's the elimination game.
Order going to be starting out on that T side because they've gone back to what used to work for them quite a bit until AVANT started to adapt, and that is picking train. What used to be one of their highest win rate maps and a absolute safe haven for them. Double push into upper ramp from AVANT, looking to take some fights nice and early on. No one really connecting any shots though, and 2 players for AVANT go down straight away.
Yeah, that's just dominance from Order out of the gates, banging 2 heads out, and it's really a statement, almost a gauntlet thrown down to AVANT to respond to that kind of pace. Order, quite nicely actually, have slowed the game down here though. I mean, AVANT made a very quick rotation into the B-bomb side, expecting them to push in there. But now, they've got no info, and as a result, APOC's going to have to push up the ramp, and that's another free kill for Order. Now a 2-on-5, and you look at this as almost an unwinnable position for AVANT.
Has to be a hell of a couple of shots coming out from some of the players in AVANT. They're on the right side though, but I mean, there's just nothing they can really do. Even Ofnu just trying to peek 2 angles at the same time, or 2 players at the same time. Not going to work out. Clean round for Order, just punishing the over-aggression that came out from AVANT. AVANT just unable to land a couple of the initial engagements early on, and that could have been a 50-50 in my mind. You get a couple of those nice kills early on in that B site, it could have been anyone's game. But looks like Order are here to play for now.
Force buy out from AVANT, looking to get back on the front foot nice and quickly, as Sterling is just holding a bit of extra cash in case they want to go for that round 4 buy. Wants to be able to buy the AWP, usually want to sit around $700 or a little bit more in some cases. So we'll see if the Deagles and the Scout work out for AVANT in this round, try to cause a bit of an upset and slow down this momentum after a pretty dominant pistol round out from Order.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some pretty decent Deagle work from AVANT yesterday against Renegades, and I wouldn't put it past them to win a round like this. 4 Galils, though, for Order, so they're certainly expecting something, some sort of funny business from AVANT. They've gone a little bit heavier into that firepower, and a few players lacking the head armor here for AVANT. It's really Hazard and APOC that if this round starts to fall by the wayside for Order, you know, a couple of guns start to drop, that they're going to be the 2 that might be able to bring this one forward for AVANT in the late round.
Bit of progression utility out of Ivy, and as well out of T-Con as they start to make their split here, Order.
Nice shot coming out from APOC though. This split, I mean, it's not working out too well so far. I mean, Estilo can't really push behind this smoke just yet, and Noobster is going to actually just re-aggress on the angle as well. Order going to call it a day over here on the A site and going to rotate over to B. They managed to lurk Ricky in, but Ricky has to fight so many duels at this stage, needs to survive as long as possible. He's doing a really solid job. Ooh. But Order now in a bit of a tricky situation. Where do they go here? They're
going to go back to A. Yeah, they've just sent AVANT scurrying all over the map, and that is what Order sort of does best, is sending Ricky into the B site. Who cares about that? Noobs hits a very nice shot with the Scout, and numbers advantage is still there for AVANT. They've got I was going to say 2 players with head armor still available. Not that it matters really anymore. Haas is down to 34 HP, but he has a Galil in hand, and he's just come out from SL. Sterling spots the players down by the blue train, and Alistar walks right into the crosshair of Hazard. It's all onto Valiance now with 27 HP to defend the bomb. He has a Galil in hand, and Sterling's low, but that's a great shot from the Deagle, and AVANT will win their force by Order, letting their foot off the gas maybe a little bit sooner than expected.
Deagle's just doing so much damage, as well as the Scout, and a pretty big missed opportunity there. I think Ustilo connects that shot there. Multiple chances to do so onto Noobstar. He can secure the rotations on CT-Con. Order gets the bomb down, and the Galils can focus more over towards Ivy and Old Bomb and hold their cell and things like that. That's where things really started to get a bit messy. Definitely could have gone either way, but AVANT, they get away with another one of these force buys. Always solid on the Deagles and the Scouts, and Order, they actually don't choose to descend into madness, as it were. You know, just start the force buying fiesta of just going back and forth until someone loses 2 in a row. They're going to take a save.
Ofnu though is going to hear this in his pressure, so drops an aggressive, or a bit of an aggressive incendiary grenade, but Estilo just drives by him with a P250. That's actually a lot of utility loss as well, and Estilo sneaks away that M4. Very cheeky, but I mean, you look at this, not any utility being expended. That was just a Ferrari peek coming out from Estilo, and it works an absolute charm over the incendiary grenade.
You love to see it.
Love a good Ferrari peek.
Yep. Lamborghini peek. Yep.
I'm more of a Volkswagen Polo kind of peak guy, you know.
Yeah, we've seen Jordan.
So just crab walking across the corner.
Oh, the tag from Alistair. Little bit of a dink with the Glock as Noobs has pushed up Ivy here. A lot of forward positions across the map, actually, where different things could happen. Almost a burst fire straight through the smoke from Alistair. Doesn't quite connect that one, and now he's still applying a little bit of pressure with that rifle that he's picked up from himself right from the beginning of the round.
Yeah, you'd love to see just a little bit of armor here for Order. That nade should deal with Jyra quite nicely, and the molly also catches Valiance. You know, if Yustillo had a little bit of body armor here, you know, he could perhaps be a bit more confident in taking these duels, but with that M4, hasn't really been able to get anything done. And despite a really nice start to the round for Order, Avant do solidify and convert that one quite nicely. 4 guns alive and no concerns there at all. This will be the difficult round, though, for Avant, because Order is going to buy straight back into it.
After the save, which could have got more damage done, they just go straight into their own buy. Avant building up quite a bit of money for themselves, sitting with 4 players, having built up a fair bit of cash. Still have an ump and a Galil, no AWP to work with, and Order somewhat limited util on a couple of these players because their money's in a weird way after losing against the Pistols. At least for the time being, seems like Order just wants to slow things down a little bit, run a bit of a default.
Great little nade coming out from APOC. Dumps it right on Alistair's head and kind of clears out T connector as well. A lot of early smokes going out to the train yard, as you're saying, on that default, but no territory really gained so far for Order.
Yeah, they're investing a fair bit of util. They actually almost have none left. They got 5 grenades between the entire team here, so they're going to have to just do something a little bit more on the simple side. Try to get into one of these sites late. One of these smokes is on Yustillo. He's all the way on the other side of the map. 2 smokes to go into SL and low ramp. We'll slow this down round down for another 20 or so seconds. And worth noting that Yustillo actually doesn't have head armor, which up against the umps and Galils and M4s is going to be a bit of a problem potentially.
2 players only on the B-bomb site, but not too bad positions being held by them.
They both have mollies. Like, even this low ramp, I'm surprised they're not even dropping a molly yet. They're just letting them walk out. That actually could be a mistake.
This is really greedy coming out from Avant, but there's so many players just waiting at this stage. Flashbang's going to come out, and the Molotov is going to come way too delayed. Sterling, at least good to hold for 2 for now, but Ricky's going to be pushed off the angle. They're going to decide to go back, but no one's really rotated across just yet, and there might be the lack of head armor actually punishing Yustillo as Noobster upgrades that UMP to the AK, and that is a very little nice round for Avant. They're going to take 4 rifles into the next one. Their money's starting to build up, and for Order, unfortunately, utility just being dumped too early on their default means they don't have enough to work with.
Yeah, they use a lot of util trying to flush out some of these forward positions and get some picks off, but unfortunately it doesn't really pay off for them. And with the limited utility that they had in towards the late round there, they just kind of walk down low ramp and get punished for it. Good positioning there from Sterling, although they're not dumping the Molotovs or anything. They didn't really expect the coil's position, so the contact down low ramp does get punished pretty heavily. There you're seeing Noobster get the kill with the ump. Yustillo didn't have head armor. He gets a gush in there. Makes all the difference, you know, if he had armor. Almost likely that you'd see Yustillo win that aim duel, but because he cops the gush, he loses a lot of HP. He gets aim punched a little bit, and it allows the UMP to put in some good work. And now Avant up 3-1 with an incredibly strong economy after maintaining most of those guns in the anti-eco and now dealing with this first gun round quite handedly. I think it was 4 players surviving. They're going to be absolutely booming in terms of the money, and heading into another anti-eco, if they survive with 3 or 4 guns up, they're going to be looking fantastic moving through the rest of this CT half.
.51 seconds around. That seems like a lot.
It's pretty good. Like, and how long does the flashbang duration last for? Normally like 3.5 to 4 seconds, depending on how effective it is.
Feels like an eternity when you cop a full flash.
Yeah. Hey, you haven't played Valorant lately, mate.
Oh, you just get flashed the whole round.
Yeah,
you cop one and then it's like.
No, dude, there's like this character where like he can. It's the equivalent of like, imagine you're standing on the A bomb site on Dust 2.
I'm imagining.
Okay, you're holding the long corner for people pushing up, like the terrorist pushing you as a CT. Now imagine there's a character that can stand in pit and he can flash the left side of long from pit 3 times in a row, and you just get blind while the T's are rushing up onto the site.
It's literally like...
That's Valorant.
You get blinded like 3 times, and then there's this bird that just flies out and blinds you.
That
and
happens
then
less.
There's a
but-
little ball that comes around the corner and blinds you again.
That happens less, but it's mostly that Breach character where like he literally can just stand like about like 20 meters away from the bomb site and just flash it repeatedly over and over again. There's really not much you can do. Either way, we are in the Counter-Strike, that Valorant game. Who plays that even?
Not
Who
me.
even plays that?
Yeah.
Honestly.
For me, the prac is just retake executes recently. That's
Oh,
all
yeah.
it's been.
That's it.
Just on the XC train. Gotta love it whenever it says B rush as your instructions, and there's just one teammate that just doesn't like dying, is not really good at the game, decides to go all the way through unders, and you just go, what are you doing, mate? You do that when your IGL calls, you're not just getting a slap.
Well, just to update everyone as to what's going on here, we do have a player resetting their PC, so not too much of a surprise, obviously, that we're in this pause.
Name and shame, Jordan.
I don't actually know who it is. If I had to guess,
It's one of the Avant players, I know that.
You reckon?
Yeah, because it was saying, I think, like 4 CTs alive versus like 5 Ts, so I'm assuming it's one of the
Let's have a
Avant
look.
players.
Yeah,
but
there's four Avant players. So we've got
I think it's
Noobster,
Offnu.
Hazard,
Offnu's missing.
APOC, and Sterling. Yeah, so it is Offnu that's resetting his PC. Takes a while to reset your PC, I guess, if you're a Counter-Strike player.
SSD. Where's your SSD, lads?
Or Hazard's got the fan on. Guess he's not an aircon gamer. He's in the Avant house, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Bit of a chit-chat there from APOC, who, as I understand, is calling for Avant at the moment. Is that correct?
That is true.
So
Oh, no.
Oh,
Go back.
Alice is
We
getting on
actually
the
had an
OnlyFans.
interview with him, and it was a little bit insightful. He was saying, "Oh, when I
watched
call,
it.
yeah, when I call, I play a little bit more aggressively." And I actually saw that on that T side of Dust 2, where he was going up short and getting a lot of short control, and then calling around the info that he had and what he saw, and he would take short control, and then he would tell the lads, "All right, just 4 of you go out long while I hold short control." And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but that's calling for you.
What do you think that is, the reason for that for Avant? Because he also sort of mentioned that he seems to call a bit of a looser style, and he was sort of mentioning how Hazard enjoyed that. So what do you think is the reason that he actually does play a bit more aggressively? Is it just his innate play style, maybe?
There's different styles of in-game leading. That's the thing.
Yep.
So some players, you'll have them be a lurker as an in-game leader, because they can hear the utility and the info on the other side of the map, and they know what is strong and weak. So, for example, if you're the wing player as in-game leader and you've got Nana control or something, you hear all of the smokes, you see all the utility over towards B, and you can call around that, and you can gather the info, and then make the right decisions based on that. You have some in-game leaders who prefer to play a bit more on the supportive side. When they're in-game leading, they'll throw the flashbangs and the smokes for the other players and coordinate them to go in certain positions. You have some people who like to entry when they're in-game leading. They like to sort of lead by example and set the pace and get into the bomb site and set their better players up for success by taking one for the team.
The Advent approach.
Yeah, it is the Advent approach, actually. That's correct.
So, Advent...
I think APOC would be either probably halfway between the lurk and the entry approach, in more so towards like an aggressive lurking style. He's going and taking some critical control of the map so that he has information to make more educated decisions and allow, he can make reads and then relay that to the team. And then if you're going to take a loose approach, you make those reads and you just allow these talented players that you've got on the Avant roster to make good decisions because they know how to.
So far, plenty of good decisions being made by Avant, and they're up 3-1. Their money's looking pretty good on the CT side, and it is Order's map choice. So need to see a bit of a response from Order, hopefully sooner rather than later, at least for our predictions. Ricky's going to be the one carrying the AK into the round. He's got a bit of armor to play with, but he's already copped a fair chunk from that nade, so definitely not the start Order is looking for. That said, 1 or 2 taps from that AK and the round could really be opened up by Ricky. So this one isn't a round where Avant can really rest on their laurels so much.
I have to say one thing, is that Noobster playing this Ivy position, I feel like this is going to be the part that's going to be instrumental, right? If Noobster's able to kind of dictate the pace over here, and he's not, because he gets absolutely domed, I think this is like the calling for Order, is that they have to identify, okay, we need to force this Ivy player to actually use utility. Noobster doesn't dump the utility until contact is made, right?
I always think, when I think of Avant on train, I actually don't think of Sterling being the crux factor. I often think of the combination of APOC and Hazza on this outside yard being the aggressive right-wing duo, and those are going to be the two who are going to have to make impact here. Unfortunately, Hazza goes down 1 for 1, and Order have kind of secured the site now.
That's a good shot from APOC, though, to bring it back to 3-on-3. Off Nu catches Alistair as he tries to plant the bomb. Suspects Ustillo around the corner. And it's just Ricky, the one that really opened this round up for Order with that initial entry frag onto Noobstar, who now has to clutch out 1-on-3. But 15 seconds. He's got 5 seconds to find each player. And Sterling finds him in 2. So 4-1, the scoreline for Avant. And not a particularly costly round for them, considering Order did come in with a gun and a bit to play with.
Could have been very costly if the bomb plant did go down. There were a couple of rifles for Order to play with. If Ricky was able to get maybe one more pick from afterwards, that would have been absolutely huge. But unfortunately, it does mean that Avant's economy is still relatively stable for now. They've got quite a bit of bank saved up on some of these players, which means that Order have to kind of punish them 2 rounds in a row. Order, though, this time around for their players, a lot of utility. Only Ricky that's kind of broke because he did actually survive after time expired 2 rounds ago. And so we're seeing a bit of a change up for Order. They're starting to apply a bit more Ivy pressure. 2 players this time, both Ustillo and Alistair.
Trying to exploit Noobstar over there if possible. See if they're going to be able to do so. Going to drop that smoke and the HE nade through it in case there's a boost potentially, but decides to hold on to it at least for now. Does seem like for sure Order do want to try to put a lot of emphasis towards T-Con and Ivy. There was just this one player at inner, but Offnu has pushed up by himself, applied pressure. Oh, it was Sterling holding that upper line actually to support him, and combination with the spam and the nade, he's actually able to pick off that player towards inner, which kind of puts Order in a weird position. They've lost the one player trying to keep tabs on inner and SL. Luckily, Gyro's actually wrapped back to clear out that area from that T-con position.
Noobstar holding a bit of an off angle here, and Alistair, well, he's prepared for it. Does get the very quick headshot. APOC close as well, drops to Ali, who's having a pretty damn nice round here. Couple of quick headshots, now straight into the bomb site. Might wrap the side of Hazza. He gets a triple kill, but then falls to the deagle of Sterling. And Sterling in a 1-on-2, definitely a player that you can expect some fireworks from. Looks like he is more interested in just backing away for the moment, perhaps to reposition, given that he did give away his location in Z Connector. Now, is he going to decide to save here, or is he actually going to try and go for the round? Because it still sort of feels like he's interested in having a bit of a peek. But in the end, obviously, here now having confirmed that he'll just save the gun. I mean, there's a bit of cash there for Avant, but it's always wise, especially early in the half, to keep a bit of that extra cash in the back pocket when possible. So saving the AWP plus the molly, the armor, etc., definitely doing a bit of a bonus for the Avant economy. But it will be Order's second round.
It is a lot of money. That's about 6k that he's got there, so you don't want to be dropping that for free.
Even more than that, Deagle and armor, utility. It's got a kit as well. Nice round from Alistair, getting Order out of a rough position, and pretty heads-up play from Gyra after they lose that inners control to not just try to split outer straight away, but actually go back and do the due diligence of clearing out that part of the map and clearing out the flanks and things like that. It's a good little round for Order to win. Didn't start off well for them.
And I think this is where Order's starting to sense a bit of blood in the water over in Ivy, right? And you'd be expecting Avant potentially to start reinforcing this area a little bit more.
Usually,
it's been cracked open twice now.
Yeah, usually it's just Ustillo over there for the most part. Again, a lot of pressure being applied to Noobstar. Ali's not on that AWP, but rather just going for the rifle. Seems to be doing quite a good job with that aggressive rifle. Obviously, he's a player that hasn't always just primary AWP'd. At times, he's been a rifler in his team, very much on the aggressive end of the scale. So we know he can get work done with that.
Well, there goes the molly and the smoke for Order, but they're not interested in pushing through Avant smoke just yet. Trying to continue to put some presence into Ivy. No push out on the B bomb site this time for Avant, so a little bit less information for them in this round than what they had in the previous. This should be the commitment now for Order.
Again, it's the dark side smoke and the Molotov as Ustillo starts to lurk out Ivy. Order looking to split outside as the smoke goes to back green as well as E-Box.
Well, Ustillo does get out for now. No push through the smoke just yet from Noobster, who's content to hold behind it. But that's allowed Order very deep into the bomb site. Hazza up on Heaven, has a job to do, and he's done it well. A double kill, backed up nicely by Noobster, who does strike as the smoke fades. Only a couple of players left to find.
8 seconds.
9 seconds for Order. They probably can't get this one done, but Sterling's mighty close. Ricky's too late to plant the bomb and won't be able to draw Sterling out, who is quite eager to find that kill. Doesn't quite explode that grenade in time.
Very close. I like that setup from Avant, though. Very, very defensive setup back in towards the back end of the site. You know, you had Noobstar towards the backside of Ivy. APOC was actually in towards Oldbon. And as soon as Hazza makes contact from Heaven, you just start seeing CTs swing out every angle and start taking duels with Order, who have been allowed so deep up the train yard. They're starting to be concerned with, we need to get the bomb down. We need to smoke off CT con. We need to hold some of these angles while we establish the plant. And they haven't made contact with any of the players. And then all of a sudden, it's kind of just like a domino effect. Hazza makes contact. You get players swinging out every different angle. And rather than trying to put the bomb down or hold CT con and hold for those rotations and watch Ivy, you are instead kind of flailing around as CTs are peeking you from Old Bomb and Heaven and running out the CT con smoke and peeking from Ivy.
Odds are starting to shift, Kev. Not so far back in the favour of Avant Gaming just yet, but they were above 2 at one point. So how convinced are you? Are you starting to see the light? Are you prepared to renege on your prediction just yet? Or is 5-2 on the first map not enough?
Look, it's always the case of, let's see what the first half gives us and the first map. Like, it's... The problem is you can never predict just based on like a 5-2 performance, because this is where parts where it can just all of a sudden fall apart. You can see maybe that there's 1 or 2 picks that go in the favor of Order, but looks like Noobs is now starting to warm up a little bit. Sick of being bullied around. As soon as I said that through, Stillo just finds the timing once again.
He's been good with the P250 today. I think actually 2 out of his 3 frags have been with the P250 so far for Order. APOC's in a good spot though to deal with you. Stillo does just get behind him. Nicely timed. Not a bad round here from APOC, who's put together a couple of frags. It's just Gyra left alive, and he'll be wanting to do a bit of economic damage to keep Avant honest, because again, this is another one of those rounds that really starts to reinforce the money for Avant, where it has dropped down a little bit. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Sterling won't miss those. So Avant get through with another 3 guns alive round, which is, you know, it's kind of on that teetering point. Like, you lose 1 more gun and you think it's a bad round. You save 1 extra gun, you think it's a good round. 3 is kind of like the par score almost there for Avant, I think.
Yeah, it's like average, but their money's not looking too great right now, and they've definitely diminished their loss bonus to nothing. So there's the reset potential is definitely there for Order. You could see this half completely rubber band back in the other way and see Order pretty much even up this scoreline if they win this gun round and continue on pretty nicely.
But I think if Avant win the next 2, I think this, I'm a bit more willing to call the CT side a lot more heavily favouring double digits for Avant here. It all comes down to a couple of his opening duels,
That's
which...
cheeky.
Yeah, I mean, a double setup from Inners, which is great
3
for
of them,
Avant.
actually.
Yeah, 1 at uppers as well. So I didn't notice that Noobs has actually floated across to here.
I did wonder if Order were going to pick up on that and go quickly into Ivy. It seems they've got that call or that information, or they've just decided that maybe we can get a bit of extra positioning a little bit quicker on the A bomb side as a result. But that float is starting to come back across from Avant, especially with the push now from Noobster up into the B halls. He knows there's nothing going on there. And so Avant have fully rotated over to the A bomb side. It's not looking too crash hot.
Look at Hazza. He's ready for old mate to poke up above the smoke. APOC does go down as well, though, into a 3-on-3 now. I think Valiance is going to be the key player here from T-Con.
It's been spotted out by Hazza, so at least the information is there for Avant. Ofnu starts to lurk around dark side and doesn't spot a whole lot out. Guess the timing right here, though. Alistair could be dead meat.
There's no info here for Avant, that's the thing. That's why you're seeing Noobs just run back to inner and drop that smoke. Molotov on top of Alistair, who has to put it out with the smoke. Noobs still at inners, though. Oh, Alistair almost going down there, but Order surely should be splitting outside. This is so ballsy. He just wide picks through the smoke. You're insane, mate.
Well, he's made it work, and Order kind of needed a little bit of magic to get into this round because they've only got 20 seconds left. Hazza with an AWP in hand. He's going to elect to go back to the rifle, but it might be a little too late. Order is into the site. Bomb plant about to go down. Gyro, an aggressive peek, but he gets it done. Knew that he needed to clear a little bit of presence out, and now it's a 1-on-3 for Noobster. And we've sung his praises throughout IEM Beijing being that sub-player, and see if he can pull off another one here for AVANT. Unlikely if he's not going to hard clear that corner that Valiance is sitting in. And Order wins a round that it looked like they probably shouldn't have from the beginning of things, but they turn it around very nicely.
Just comes down to the trades in my mind. And especially Alistair on that Ivy peak. As you said, the ball's on this man, 32 HP, tagged out. Just to seeing through a smoke, just leaves his back exposed to A site if Offnu managed to swindle through. So, but you got to take those risks when you're down.
Oh, well, yeah, for sure. I think Order, that's a massive round for them to win from a disadvantageous situation. That resets the money of AVANT. And that's where you could see, like I said, this half start to rubber band back in the other direction. And this game, I think this series is going to be very bloody close. These teams seem like they're very closely matched right now.
AVANT going to be getting a little bit of a taste of their own medicine now in that they've forced Order back onto the pistols a couple of times. Now their turn to suffer the pain. Not putting those P250s to as good use as what Ustilo has been able to on that T side for Order. And once again, it's the same utility setup for Ustilo as he looks to gain control of Ivy. Will prompt the peek from APOC, who gets a bink, but all's well that ends well for Ustilo. He's done his job and he can just really slow down things in this round for himself now. Let the rest of the guys, the ones that are up on a fairly healthy amount of HP, do the lion's share of the work. You can see he's just tucked into a corner on long while this B hit does eventuate and it favors Order. So there we go. AVANT. Money's not looking very good.
It's still not good, yeah. The utility is the problem. You know, often is that Innis player, if he wants to go for a molly and things, I don't know, all the utility he wants, he has to go down to a FAMAS or an MP9. He's not going to go for that, so he can't. APOC's got no armor, which is interesting. Chooses to go completely armorless with an M4. You do not see that too often.
And here's the problem. It's like the couple of times that AVANT have actually got on that first pick on B, they've actually gone on to lose the round. So AVANT's starting to play, dare I say it, like a bit gimmicky to get the advantage, and they're still not working on their CT side.
I'm a little bit surprised that APOC doesn't go down to the MP9 here. You know, we know that he's a really, really solid MP9 player. He can get close up towards T-Con. He does that a lot. But perhaps wants to favor the long-range duels. I mean, he's still sitting around bomb train, so...
Yeah, just chooses to go armorless. There was actually a lot of smokes towards outside at the start for Order, just towards Sandwich and E-Box. But they don't progress behind them. Just trying to keep AVANT honest for the time being, who, you know, they still have a fair bit of utility, but that's only going to last them so long as we head in towards the late round, and Order's holding a fair bit of utility themselves, just holding that map control. But as the clock starts to tick down, Order need to decide what they want to be going for. Again, they're leaving Ustilo towards Ivy. He's got that smoke ready. Going to throw that towards Dark Side and apply that pressure. That's going to force Noobster to dump a bit of util.
Not the end of the world just yet for AVANT. They haven't lost a player, but you do have to question how they're going to hold off here. Surely a little pop flash for APOC into SL. No, it's not going to matter. He does at least get one.
Gets aim punch to high hell though, pushing into SL like that. Easy 1-for-1.
I mean, I think you got to take that though as APOC, right? You walk in there with no armor to get even one. Surely you're happy with that.
25 seconds. Like, what's the play here for Order? They are really starting to run out of time. They throw the smoke down low ramp. How do they clear players out of Sandwich and on top of Green Train with such little time?
Sterling
misses the shot.
As are going to be the key here. Knows that Ustilo is up on top of the train. Doesn't quite get that kill in time to save Noobster. And there's spam battle through the smoke, but the bomb's denied. How has Hazza managed to do that? I feel like that's a huge miscoordination, or communication rather, miscommunication from Order. They should have known Hazza was there.
Yeah, they did know he was there. I think, look, it's 50% one player not covering the planter and not anticipating Hazza, and it's also 50% planting in the position for the sandwich flank. I think both of them are, you know, contributing factors, because they know that this push has come into T-Con, but you just see Alistair put the bomb down in that position, and Valiance doesn't come around quickly enough to cover him. I think, you know, if Alistair plants to the left instead, you know, it could have been a different situation, but who's to say Hazza isn't going back towards Sandwich side?
Or why don't you just plant for CT? Was that contact made on B?
There was.
There was players on B, but they weren't in position to
They were
rotate.
fighting through the smoke.
No, but I mean by that, as you know, that CT, like if you plant on the other side,
I think
it's
that's
safer.
something that, you know, from helicopter view, it's very easy to say that, but
Yeah.
almost never happens.
Yeah. Especially with 7 seconds on the clock. Like, these are the split-second decisions that Order has to make. So I do think it's a little bit of an unforced error almost, but regardless...
That should have definitely been an Order round. By the same token, though, it's actually not the end of the world that they lose that, because now Avant, they've reduced their loss bonus a little bit more. They empty the bank accounts, and in reality, this fight is terrible. They have very little util, they have no kits, they're all using lackluster weaponry. This should just be a slam dunk for Order to reset the economy and get themselves a 6-7 round half.
You say that, but the Alligator's going to get 3 kills. Offnu and APOC are going to be pushing on the back of this.
It's up to Ricky.
Silent Boost going to come out. This is really cheeky. Ricky's going to be caught off guard.
Yep, that's actually Offnu once again getting the better of him. Now Order picking up the pace in towards this outside yard. Hazard, he's got a lot of work to do from the side. It's only a 1-for-1 though.
I don't know how he's managed to make that work. Offnu does drop to Alistair, but it's still numbers advantage for Avant. They've got shocking weapons to fight against an AWP at this range, an MP9 and an XM, but
bombs in the open.
Numbers advantage. They've got the player up on top of the train now as well. It's just a matter of time here. Noobster should find Alistair and will. That's a big upgrade for him. MP9 to AWP, XM to AK. Big round for Avant, and now they're up 8-4.
Yeah, great stuff from Noobster as well as Offnu. I mean, this is just a matter of just a little silent, cheeky boost.
I mean, they needed to do something. This is exactly the kind of strat that you want to do with a low buy like this. You definitely want to try to go for something a bit gimmicky or for a push somewhere. So you'll love to see that from Avant. And actually, that's a big game changer. They lose that round. You're looking at Order very easily getting 6 or 7 rounds in this half. Now Avant, they secure that round. If they have a clean anti-eco here up against the Deagles, you're looking at them potentially putting together double digits here on the CT side.
Ooh, nice little nade. Just chips them down a little bit lower. But all it takes is a couple of nice Deagle shots, and that's it.
Big spray from Noobster through the smoke. Connects a couple of bullets onto Gyra. Certainly lets Order know that he knows. Not really a whole lot here for Order to play with. Ustilo's got one more smoke, but where's that really going to get them? Maybe it's another smoke for the dark side of Ivy, and then they try to rush out onto the A bomb site. Be a big split. Ricky into the B site late in the round, potentially can catch a rotator or something like that. That's the ideal world for Order. In fact,
it's Deagles and armor. Like, this is a very dangerous situation for Avant because they cannot afford to replace any of these guns, even if they win the round.
And Noobster spots Gyra over the smoke. Now Ustilo and Alistair are going to hide inside of it. Valiant's also hiding. There's one player dropping. You talked about them not being able to afford too much. I think that is acceptable from Avant.
Oh, that's excellent. 4 guns alive. Now you're looking very much at double digits. Order going to put together another buy round. This is going to be the good buy round. I think next round, particularly if they don't get the bomb down, they are going to be very light on util, and they definitely won't have an ult.
It could be the goodbye round for Order in this map if they lose it. You know, 11-4 on the CT side. If Avant gets there, I wonder if Order's got enough legs to come back in this this map. Anyway, definitely a different ball game when Order's got guns and util, but 3 players stacked in Ivy, and there's going to be a push this time. APOC gets the better of Ustilo, who, to be fair, I think did a pretty good job considering he was fully flashed. Nearly kills APOC. But that's a player advantage for Avant, and APOC's just going to continue to send it down long, have a bit of a look, bit of a peek, see whether there's anyone there. Nothing going on that side of the map, so immediately we'll see them rotate back into the A-bomb. So I think it was Noobster in the end, actually, that went down long, not APOC, but the result is the same. And another pop flash into T-Con, this time Hazza having a peek. So Avant are definitely playing this on their own terms.
One contact between Hazard. The rest of the members of Order is Gyra. He clears that angle with a Galil. Not an easy duel to win. And this is going to open up that A site as they're going to be crawling up, as some would say, idiot wall at this stage. But it's looking like a smart move because for Avant, no one's going to be suspecting this, but they don't clear the corner for CD Connector fast enough. Now Noobster is going to be making his presence identified over at Heaven, but unfortunately, only a single kill for the Angel. Means he's not the saving grace right now for Avant. Bomb plant is going to go down. Jaro spots the push out. Ricky's going to try to engage at this close range. The spray down's good enough. And Jaro, he's done well enough as the IGL. 4 kills with that upgrade to the M4. Is going to secure order. A big, big round because that means that Avant's economy is a bit in the bin right now, Mitch.
Yeah, they're a bit cooked. Very low on util if they go for M4s. Rest of the lads going to have to go for some lackluster weaponry. Again, this is another round where you'd expect Order to win it quite handedly. Some of the players, though, quite light on util. Alistair's got very little. Valiance has to go down to Galil. Ustilo and Ricky only have those smokes to work with, so, you know, it's not going to be necessarily a free win here. This is where you want to see... Oh, the push actually not punished. The Galil not good enough on that angle. You know, some of those bullets not actually being able to pen through the wall with the Galil there. And that's where the M4 definitely reigns supreme. This is where you're going to have to see Ricky take matters into his own hands over on that lurk towards inner. Maybe the AWP start to have a little bit of impact as well.
Cheeky little upgrade for Noobster, and he's actually going to walk down long this round instead of having a bit of a peek and returning back to the A bomb site. While SL is being held by 2, Hazza with the Deagle hits a nice shot, and he'll have a crack at another one here as well. Valiant's playing the game of dancing around, watching Hazza near the E-box. Alistair eventually gets the first frag of the round for Order, but look at the map control that Avant has. This is disgusting.
Surely you kill one of the... Okay, you kill him on the flank, you don't check it again. This is where APOC just comes in and wins the round.
Sterling as well, flitting his way down to SL. It's going to come down to these one-on-one duels at the stage. Valiant's not going to suspect it. Avant are going to close out with double digits at the half. Going to be catching Order off by surprise, but it's not over just yet for map number 1. Going for a short break, but we'll be back to see who takes the first one in the series.
Excuses for it, love it, need it, live it. I feel like something's missing when I do not have it. I feel it in my bones, gotta find my space. These emotions on my face, taking a toll, I gotta pay it forward. I'll give it all that I can. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. So it's in my blood, and I won't take it no more. I will be just leave it to me. I know what I need. You'll find if you see. And if you believe, you live and you breathe, you'll find the key. In me, lifting you. Can't go alone, let's do by 2. Doing this together, it's me by you. All through the night, all through the night. This is me, this is you. When we get together, we can all pull through. I don't ever wanna stop this groove. Let's get it right. Take it to the Lord, then take it to the grave. Listen to the wise man, tell me what to say. Listen to your heartbeat like it still bleed. A little bit of hope, yeah, it's what we still need. Say a little prayer for the moment. Give what you got, just go in. Can't hold you back if you own it. Live your life like it's chosen, no matter what. I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. No matter what, I won't let up.
The mustache still remains for Alistair, but does a win on Train remain for Order? I mean, they did win on this map against AVANT. No, they didn't. They didn't. See, this is all the problem about how that matchup did play out. AVANT actually did win. It looked like Order was going to win. Now it looks like AVANT's going to win. But does that mean Order's going to win? I don't know. Who's going to win, Kev? That's a very good question. The odds seem to favour AVANT at the moment. You know, I think it's best if, when we come into a series like this, we just don't even make any predictions anymore. Because who really knows?
What do you mean? I said it was a coin flip, so...
Actually, you said 55% to Order. I said 50%. That's a coin flip.
No.
Unless you're suggesting heads or tails has a 55%
You can land
chance.
technically a coin on the side. Theoretically,
yeah.
it's a very low percentage point, but as an Asian, I feel like I need to point it out as my due duty.
Okay.
All right.
Well, smokes on either side of the train, and you do have the Molotov in the middle as APOC pushes up close to those smokes, and now you're still copping a push. Oh, he's just copped 2 headshots. He can't even get out of there. Can't do anything.
Well, we saw Order kind of making a statement on their T-side pistol, and it's great to see AVANT responding in kind. It's almost the same fashion where a player just gets deleted on the B side. This one not looking quite so bad for Order, and that push in the B halls going well. Noobstar, he doesn't get the comms quickly enough from Offnu, or doesn't react to them quickly enough either. And that'll be Order to win the pistol, having lost only Ustillo.
Yeah. B-side on train is a hell of a lot more retakeable than most of these bomb sites, to be honest. So, especially on the pistol, it's good work for Order. Would have liked to see that trade back. I think the flank through the smokes from Offnu, if it was timed a bit differently, oh, sorry, not from Offnu, from APOC, if it was timed a bit differently, could have made a bit more impact. Either way, though, we do see the classic from AVANT. It's the second round force from them. Lots of Galils, maybe a Scout or a couple of Deagles. We'll see if they can turn around their fortunes like they did in the first half. Lots of players scurrying over here towards the showers, getting ready to potentially do something toward inner. Don't mind, to be honest, seeing these forces of just the Galils and the Deagles running out of upper ramp. Can be quite hard to deal with if you're like an inners player and you've got an MP9 like Ricky.
It's a nice softening grenade, though, onto Sterling, you know, predominantly. If first MP9 frag goes the way of Order, could well be due to that damage. And
I actually love that approach from AVANT. That's perfect.
Good flashbangs being changed, in all honesty, to allow those entries coming forward. And now Offnu on the angle. Warning shots being exchanged from both parties, but it's still going to be the numbers advantage for AVANT at the end of the day. And Offnu, unfortunately, can't really get the better of that timing, but slowly and surely, Order are losing numbers. And AVANT, this force buy has worked an absolute charm. I don't know if you can say it's a force buy or a better buy, but Jira has not spotted out Hazard. And it's all over as Hazard takes the high ground, ends that round with 4 kills of the Galil. As Hazard really just a shining star right now. Outstanding performance, 20 kills in 17 rounds. Doesn't sound that great, but when you look at the rest of the scoreboard, he's really done the hard yards.
Yeah, I think it's also important to note that there isn't really anyone letting the team down on AVANT at the moment. You know, there isn't a trailing figure. Everyone's contributing 10 or 11 frags, and then you've got that one guy out in front that might be making the difference for the roster. But it is important for everyone across the board to sort of keep that scoreboard ticking over. Ricky was interested in having a peek with that scout, but will be dissuaded by the Molotov. So AVANT have control of Brown Halls very, very early on in the round, and well, they haven't got really much control of anything else, so I'd suggest this might well be a quick play into the B bomb site with all of that util that's being thrown on in. It's just Ricky to defend, and with a scout, you're just not going to be able to deal with all 5 members. So it's almost a case where Order has to let this bomb plant go down and play for the retake.
But nice little opener coming out from Jira. It's going to be enough to kind of swing the tide of battle. I'm not too certain, as Noobs has decided he's had enough. He's going forward at this stage, but Valiant decided to punish him.
Oh,
Valiant from high up, doing a lot of damage to the Deagle, and just like that, a lot of low HP members. Offnu does decide to switch to the sidearm faster than reloading, and he's going to play the Tarek slot at the moment, just sitting straight on that smoke.
You love it.
But
no,
not going to work out, and APOC is going to spray down. I think there's just enough time for him to hold on. Unfortunately, Order have to stick the defuse, and there's just no kits for them to play with. The cover's not there either, as APOC is going to make sure that no one survives, not even himself at the end of the day. but he gets the round, and that's the most critical thing for Avant.
It reminds me of that meme. You know, you got APOC sitting at the computer screen, and then there's APOC behind him with the gun saying, "Trust no one, not even yourself."
Oh, man.
But he's won the round for him. Great shots coming through from Valiants, but not enough for Order in that instance. I think the difficulty there for Order was just so many low HP members, so there wasn't anyone that could confidently take that gunfight against APOC. Ricky on the defuse was like 6% HP, so all it took really was a tickle. This time, quick out onto the A-bomb site from Avant, and they're really picking up the pace in these anti-ecos. Potentially cost them a lot of HP. Ofnu and Sterling certainly worse for wear, and Hazard also having dropped already, but, you know, it doesn't matter at the end of the day for Avant if they're losing guns here or there, which, to be fair, they haven't really lost all that many anyway.
This is a game I've seen before between Avant and Order on this map. You know, watching Avant play very aggressive on the T side, just running out of T-Con, running out of SL, the riflers just getting in the mix and getting involved and winning these aim duels. It's definitely a win condition from them. It's worked in the past to quite good success to be able to take train in some of these maps. So if that continues to work well for Avant, then I would be quite scared. If your Order, particularly in a round like this, you've got very little to stop them doing it. No Molotovs, none of this utility that you want to have. So you're going to have to be winning these heads-up aim duels.
The problem is that the momentum is on the side of Avant at the moment. They're starting to steamroll a little bit ahead here after a couple of these rounds, and I don't know if Order just have enough firepower in this stage to kind of stop the shock and awe. You're going to see it one more time again. They're just going to peek Ricky just like that.
Drops the smoke to try to buy a little bit of time, but a lot of players running out upper ramp now.
He's got some backup at the very least with Jyra being there, and Jyra sharp gets rid of APOC first. There's also a kill in there from Ricky, but decent enough trades for Avant, and again, they control the B bomb site. And what does Order have to retake with? 2 smokes?
Yes.
They don't even have a defuse kit, so time's already of the essence for them, and they're gonna have to be quick. It's this duel up in the halls that's really going to play a big part in this round, and it looks like Valiants has just been allowed to walk down the ramp. He's going to get a double kill. What is going on here for Avant? Sterling has to clutch it out. Now he's been spotted by Alistair. Hits the shot, but won't get the kill, which he definitely needed. And now he just has to swing. He cannot find the kill in time because Ustilo covers well, and Order will actually make that retake happen.
Yeah, Avant is kind of playing that style of T-side train where you just shock and awe. You know, you're going for these very, very quick plays. Straight out upper ramp, straight out T-con with a couple of flashes, straight down SL. Just keeping things a little bit on the simple side and just trusting that you've got the firepower to be able to win some of these aim duels, have each other covered with just basic sort of setups. I think that definitely should have been their round, just that flank in from halls. Unfortunately doing a little bit too much damage and allowing Order to get away with that retake there.
Well, still a bit of money left in the coffers for Avant, results in force buy through. This time Ricky's had enough of holding the B site, and he's decided to
That's what happened last half, just in reverse.
Yeah.
Order have just gone, well, Avant did this to us, so maybe we should give it a go. And Sterling's kind of... Ricky's just full centered. 40 seconds in, he's in T-spawn. And Sterling's by himself. He's definitely heard Ricky, but what do you do at this position from Sterling?
Try and do damage.
4 headshots, not impossible, but in this case, not going to happen. Ricky's had enough of being bullied.
I think some good responses in here for Order. You know, winning that retake definitely could have been a rough state of affairs. You were looking at it, I think it was going to be like 14-6 if Avant completed that 3-on-3. They set themselves up nicely to do it. But Order, they come through with the goods, and then up against that that buy from Avant, they deal with things quite handedly in an aggressive manner, which is, you know, it's important to highlight because when you lose a round like that as the T side, there's not a whole lot of counterplay necessarily. You can just run a bit of a default and try to hold a little bit more, but there's no guarantee Order's going to be that aggressive again. So it's a good response from Order. It doesn't give away very much information, allows them to build up their money, and we'll see if they can hold on to that economy up against the pistols here. So far, so good with the scoped weaponry. They get the 2 openers for themselves.
I mean, not really a whole lot to write home about for Avant this time. It's just Glocks. Oops, so might have even been better off just dying in that Molotov. because there was a grenade headed in his direction anyway. So that round will be over pretty quick smart for AVANT. That's fine. No concerns, really. Order's starting to put together a few rounds, though, on the CT side. The gap closes to 4. It was 5 coming into this half. So Order's doing a pretty decent job so far. We'll definitely need to see more from them. It still looks like an AVANT-favoured win from here, but Order, you know, they've started to get control of their economy. So this is exactly the kind of platform that you can do it with.
Honestly, it's anyone's game right now, to be honest, because I haven't seen the ability to play a little bit of a slower round yet from AVANT. This is where they're going to give it a crack at this round. Again, it's flashbangs to try to put some of these riflers on the line and open up the round, and Hazza being given a lot of freedom. And why wouldn't you give him freedom? The man always performs on train. I don't know what it is about it, but again, he's having another great game for AVANT, a lot of impactful kills.
Well, if we go back to the interview that you had yesterday with APOC, he did say he felt, or he thought, or maybe Hazza indicated to him that this sort of freer kind of flow style that he's calling has worked well for Hazza. So maybe that's a world where Hazza just says, hey, I want to do this, can I do this? And then the team's like, all right, let's set you up for it. Nice. He makes it work.
That's great. You know, they find that opener, they punish the push in response. The CT's trying to make something happen in the 4-on-5. AVANT very much putting themselves in pole position to, again, just take control of the momentum and try to close this game.
So maybe this just comes down to timing at the moment, doesn't it? Alistair, huge work he needs to do. There's ever a man that can really pop off in a scenario like this. It actually is this man, but Hazza sitting close in the smoke as well. It's going to fade in his favor, but still, Alistair will be able to hit that shot. He's going to be smoked off, but he's still going close, but he misses the most important one of all.
I mean,
onto Noobster at close, and now he's still trying to play around the smoke, but the trade's just absolutely great for AVANT. And now Ricky, if only he had a few teammates right now. Safe plant from AVANT.
Yeah, grenade going to do 1 damage to APOC. A worthwhile investment from Ricky as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, there's always a chance. Sometimes you got to go for that 99%.
99%. There's a 1% chance for Ricky to win this round, but 1% is 1%. It means it's doable. 1 out of 99, 1 out of 100 even. Anyway, it's starting to look like it might be slipping away, and now there's a 0% chance. So AVANT will get to 14. Yeah. Not enough to break Order's economy just yet, though.
A nice round again. It's like that's pretty much, I could copy paste what I said about Order going aggressive and just say it about AVANT in that last round, you know. A flashbang over the top of T-Con, and Hazza just punishes someone getting a little bit, you know, lackadaisical over there towards E-Box. And from there, they just hold a default. They punish the pushes on the extremities. Not a much to read into for Order there, to be honest. Now they're going to have to decide how they want to go into this gun round. They do have another buy, having been quite good with their economy previously.
But they are starting to run out of rounds to play with, and AVANT are going to be gearing up for this B-site hit as well.
Order getting aggressive again. They take that T-Con control, and they get a smoke down onto low ramp. So this could give them time to get the rotations in position and get a stack on that B-bomb side, actually. They clear out T-Con. They've still got 2 on this outer side now. The Molotov's starting to go in. Ricky full white here.
Definitely a good flash, and Sterling sets himself on the line, but misses the shot. Now the spam through from Ricky, but he was not prepared for APOC lurking close inside of the smoke. Alistair, a smoke bang, but it's still not enough to equalize the numbers because Offnu's getting work done on the other side. Alistair is starting to ramp up on this CT side, though, so I do wonder if AVANT don't close things out here. Is there an X factor for Order that might make the difference? Alistair gets an ace with a Molotov, no less. A great round and a sliver of hope.
What are you checking, Alistair? You killed them all, mate. You domed them.
I don't think he realized he killed Sterling with the molly. He was getting ready for another 6 shot. It's just not... He wasn't satisfied yet. That was a massive round, though.
Wait, I killed them all? Uh-oh. You know when Alistair starts getting in this form, that's the scary part, because this is where he starts ramping up and you just go, well...
It's still very losable for AVANT here if Alistair's going to hit shots like this.
even just like that little micro movement is beautiful. You know, he doesn't go up the right side of the ladder, instead up the left side of the ladder, bit of a crouch. Alistair has just such a good intuitive sense of like his movement and how he can be annoying to hit and reposition and take different shots. It's always so nice to watch.
There's another one for him.
He's like, it's like, you know, I don't know, it's like the phrase, he floats like a butterfly.
Stings like a bee.
He's just zooming around the map, mate. You know, it's so beautiful to watch the movement.
Off to a good start in this round as well. He's like 25 and 17, something like that. So, front runner for Order. If they can make this comeback happen, I think it definitely will be off the back of the AWP from Alistair. Maybe even one for Ricky here as well can start to chime in because he's grabbed it.
He's just killing them all.
The last 7 frags.
He's just taking angles, and then he sees a player and he hits delete.
A round ago, he was 19 and 17. Now he's 26 and 17.
He's definitely spotted out Noobster, but unfortunately, Valiant can't really get the shot across at the right time. He was trying to deal too many angles, and now Estella is going to be the one that's going to clean up. So Order is still a bit of a gap, though. It's not over for either side just yet. Might see another overtime in Train. It's not the first time that we've seen an overtime from either of these sides on this map. It always is a bit close.
Could still just go either way. Again, Order... That's what they've been doing fantastically on the CT side. Yeah, they're losing rounds here or there, but when they win a round, they're resetting the economy, or they're putting themselves in a position where they can build up their money. They're winning with a lot of players surviving a lot of the time, which gives them a lot more staying potential on this comeback, which is what you need on the CT side. You can't be winning these 1v1s, these clutches and things like that. Sometimes that's not enough.
Nice little push out onto the site here from Hazard, but it's not going to work out for Sterling. Good trade. Spam through. This might actually be the round for Avant that gets them to 15. The A defense has crumbled for Order. Alistair is still alive, but he'll miss that flick, and surely now that's the round. If he gets that one with Gyra coming around the back, maybe there's a chance. But a 1-on-3, I just don't see this one happening.
Most likely not. Just another good round for Avant where they've got a couple of riflers in some good positions. They're not necessarily trying to take the side or anything like that. It's just a couple of blokes playing off of each other, punishing the pushes, getting in some annoying positions, and then, you know, making reads. Finding some of those picks and rotating around the place. Gyra making this one expensive though. I'm not sure Avant have the money to be able to throw these guns away. Order definitely still have cash. They can reinvest in the next. Could even go for a double AWP if they want to.
Yeah, but time's running out, you know?
Oh, for sure. Avant's still plugging away. Look, they're only getting 1 for every 2 that Order gets, but it's still good enough at this stage of the game.
Exactly.
They're still going to get across the line unless Order goes on a bit of a streak here into OT.
Double AWP for Order is the name of the game.
I think it is the correct response against what Avant's been doing the last couple of rounds, but while they're ahead here, there's no guarantee that Avant doesn't go back to that style that they were doing earlier on in the half, where they just hit something and hit something hard, and then, you know, your AWPer misses that first shot or gets caught off guard, you lose that inner side or something like that. Maybe they hit the small site and, you know, Ricky doesn't connect the shot with the AWP or something like that, and then the rotation is harder with that secondary. Utility is not so great either. You know, Alistair has very little util. Ustilla has very little util. Ricky doesn't have a Molotov to be able to stall if they go in and hit this inner site. So it'll really depend on Avant's approach here on this T side to the success factor of the double AWP, really. I think if they go to that slower style that you saw before, that's where the AWPs could really work quite well, if it's a bit more of a passive, held-back approach from Order.
Well, potential final round of Train here. And Avant would love to get off on the front foot. The next map coming up is their choice of Mirage. So that'll bode well for them. It'll be a cleaner win on this map than what they had the other day. Valiance does double down though, so it's not going to be so easy. APOC caught with his pants down. Perhaps they won't expect Offnu as well, although Ustilo does get back down into SL. Sterling This is his shot, and Offnu's not there in time to save him. But 1-on-2, definitely very winnable for Offnu here. He's got plenty of time to play with. Order is still on the rotate across. He can retrieve the bomb pretty safely as well. Now he's got all of the options. Valiant's hanging on to the AWP as well, only 46 HP. Where does Offnu go from here? If he goes for the plant, Valiant's probably has a fairly routine kill and might even have spotted Offnu's gun barrel. I'm not sure. Still watching SL, so I'd have to suggest Valiant's hasn't actually seen that gun barrel yet. But Offnu's in a big old crossfire and he won't get the timing right. Valiant spots him from behind and that's routine for Order. 15-12.
Yeah, so this is where I'm wondering, you know, bomb plant, Avant dropped a couple of extra guns last round. You're seeing the effects of that on their economy. Noobster can't afford to buy. Hazard and Offnu won't have any utility if they want to go for AKs and armor.
Let's go for a couple of deagles, try to do some damage.
I think that's the correct approach, yeah. You already got a couple of kills in that last round. It only came down to 2 players surviving. Yes, they did retain the AWPs. I think a half buy is on the cards. You know, Avant really do like their deagles. You know, if I was going to go for an approach here, I would go for like CZs and armor, P250s, techies, and go for some kind of execute or something like that.
Hazard just training it out.
like
Insta-dink onto Alistair and Sterling. Uh-oh, this is starting to look a bit dangerous now. As Hazard just closed the gap, closed the distance with a Tech 9 at close range.
No.
And this, I mean, this is the start of the end, I would say. 5v2 at the moment. Perfect territory control for Avant. Order just don't have anything to work with.
It's just too reminiscent of how Order lost the map on the first round of IEM Beijing. It was different sides. Avant was on CT, Order was on T, but it was pistols. It's the same thing happening again for Order. It's got to be a crushing blow to the mentality. If they lose here, Ricky's in a 1-on-2, but he's only got 39 HP and barely any time left to play with either. Sits the defuse. That's not going to work. Sterling with the deagle headshot. And it's Avant that will go 1-0 up in the lower bracket final of IEM Beijing.